You're looking at the Raiders on the practice field today as you watch NFL Now on NFL Network. There is Jon Gruden. No matter where you pan the camera, you will not see Antonio Brown. Not there. And facing discipline after Ian Rappaport tells us the wide receiver got in an altercation yesterday with general manager Mike Mayock. Our former colleague Mike Mayock, who spoke to the media moments ago.
Okay, short and sweet. Antonio Brown's not in the building today. He won't be practicing. I don't have any more information for you right now. And when I have some and it becomes appropriate, you guys will all get it. I promise you. But that's it for today. Thank you.
32 words in 15 seconds. Ian Rappaport, clearly, inside football joke, getting a rap from Andy Gregg in his ear. So he walked back in the building. He allegedly, Ian, you're reporting, he being Antonio Brown, threatened to punch Mayock in the face during practice yesterday.
And after that, after a yelling match, from what I understand, was much more one-sided. It sounded like Antonio Brown just screaming at Mayock and not really being it. After that, he took the ball and punted it and said, "Find me for that." Now, one of the first things that Jon Gruden did when he was Raiders coach was cut a punter he didn't like in Marquette King. What we do not know, is he going to cut this punter? Are they going to suspend him? Are they going to discipline him? What are they actually going to do? I am told some discipline is coming, but we do not know if it's a suspension or a huge fine or what. Because remember, Andrew, if it's a suspension, that's a massive deal. The Raiders can put him on suspension for 4 games according to the CBA. Antonio Brown could fight it. It is a battle involving guaranteed money. It would dramatically alter his salary from this season and how much is guaranteed. It is a major, major deal if they suspend him. We don't know whether the Raiders are willing to do that yet. We just know that he's in very big trouble, and he's not practicing today.
Well, Ian, listen, assuming these details are accurate here, and I have no doubt that they are not, obviously, he punted the ball. He threatened the general manager. Our colleague Vic Tafer at The Athletic reports that players had to pull Antonio Brown back. One of them, Vic says, amazingly, was Vontaze Burfict. So it's like we're living in the upside down here. It kind of feels like the beginning of the end. Ian, this calls for speculation, but anything short of Antonio Brown coming back and saying, "I'm sorry," and being a good citizen, I mean, how do we fix this?
I don't know. I don't know how Antonio Brown's going to react. I don't know how Jon Gruden stands in all of this. There are times when a player can hate a general manager, like a coach, like his teammates, and play. That is why a lot of times it's the GM finding players, or even a sidekick of the GM finding players, allowing the coach to be out of the fray. We don't know if that's happened with Gruden right now. We do know that Jon Gruden has defended Antonio Brown a lot, from the helmet thing to the foot thing, for a lot of reasons. We don't know what Antonio Brown thinks of Gruden, thinks of the Raiders, thinks of his team. And also, this is not the first time, Andrew, that AB has done something that was bad and caused a lot of headlines and then come back and played. We've seen it at various times in his career. Would I be shocked if this is the last time he plays for the Raiders? No, but I wouldn't be shocked if he shows up, apologizes, and everybody moves on as well.
Yeah, which he probably has to do. Takes me back a couple of weeks ago to, Ian, when you and I were in Napa, and I asked a Raider official the night before the Rams and the Raiders were on the practice field together, "Hey, where is he? Like, where is Antonio Brown?" And I got this. And
yeah,
now,
a lot of that.
Here we are. He's not in the building today. Thank you, Ian Rappaport, NFL Network insider. More on this story now from MJ Acosta, who is live in Alameda. The Raiders are on the practice field. We heard from Mike Mayock, all 32 words that Mike Mayock had to offer. Jon Gruden, MJ, is expected to speak, as he usually does, after practice.
Correct, Andrew. He's slated for a 1 p.m. media availability. Of course, all of us waiting to hear what he has to say and his perspective and context on all of this. In terms of practice, we were out there for an abbreviated period, as we did have to listen and wait to listen to hear from Mike Mayock. In terms of practice and sort of the overall feel here, without question, there's a sense of tension. You can tell that, especially the players are just trying to focus on their jobs with a game pending on Monday Night Football in just a few days. But overall, the rest of the team just trying to get to work back to normal without Antonio Brown on the field. Derek Carr was out there throwing passes to rookie wide receiver Hunter Renfrow, who has been a standout throughout this. But certainly this is a distraction to the team without question. At the beginning of that open period, when we would usually be shooting the team, we're told not to face the field, instead waiting for general manager Mike Mayock to come out. So a lot still sort of settling here, the dust settling after all of this news breaking this morning.
You know, MJ, you said earlier that it seems, and you've seen it, that Antonio Brown's teammates like him a lot. We've seen a lot of that over the last month on Hard Knocks. That's not just for the cameras, right?
Certainly, in my direct observations and what team sources who are in the locker room tell me, the guys truly do gravitate to Antonio. They genuinely like him, but I'm told from sources as well that even several players thought that this was out of line, that this was out of context, and quite frankly disrespectful. I think they know, regardless how much you like a guy, something like this is just unacceptable.
Yep, John Gruden. Find out if he deems it acceptable. Coming up at 1 o'clock Eastern time, or 1 o'clock Pacific time, I beg your pardon, 4 o'clock Eastern time. Thank you, MJ Acosta.